Hi, welcome back to Parenting Dyslexia 360. On this channel, I am here doing the best I can to support you parents that are trying to empower your kids with dyslexia. Today, I wanted to talk about helping you find and take your seat at the meeting table. One of the things I hear is that parents aren't really sure that they have a place at school meetings. They feel insecure and uncertain and a little bit intimidated. So I wanted to come here today to reinforce, which I know I've done in other videos, you need to be at that meeting. To help you move past the intimidation and maybe the fear and the insecurity, I'm going to give you some information today and answer some frequently asked questions about meetings. So hopefully this all puts your mind at ease. So the first thing to know is the different kinds of meetings you might be invited to. One meeting might be to get your permission to do an evaluation. So this would be a teacher has a concern in the classroom that your child is struggling with reading or math or whatever it might be, and they think it's time for the school psychologist to evaluate them, but they need your permission to do that. So they might invite you to a meeting to talk more about that. A second type of meeting is what's called a meeting for eligibility. So that means in the course of testing, some concern was found, such as dyslexia. And now it needs to be decided if, due to that dyslexia, your child would benefit from an IEP or a 504 plan. And the third kind of meeting is the meeting where you work on the IEP or the 504 plan, where teachers and administrators and you gather around the table and try to set some goals and talk about the different kinds of support your child needs. So those are the basic kinds of meetings. You are welcome and should be at all of those meetings. Okay, so on to the frequently asked questions about meetings. Number one, who's going to be at the meeting? If we're talking about the meeting to plan the IEP and the 504, which is really the biggest of the meetings, then there's going to be you and whoever you bring, and we'll come back to that in a minute, your child's teacher, and a school administrator. That's sort of the bare minimum. But there will likely also be a school psychologist, maybe a school social worker. There might be a special education teacher or a special education coordinator. There might be, depending on what kind of services or support they think your child needs, there could be a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, a speech therapist. So it could be a long list of people, or it could be a very small meeting. And some of that is within your control. A second common question is, do I have to talk at the meeting? No, you don't have to. The most important thing is that you showed up. So just show up. However, I do hope you will talk at the meeting because I think your input is really important, and the school does too. If you feel like you need to know more about how to prepare for a meeting to get ready to talk, I will link a video in the description box below for you to check out that will help you get ready. Another question a nervous parent might ask is, are they going to ask me questions? And the answer is yes. The school really truly wants your input. So they're going to ask you things like, how do you feel like school is going for your child? Do you have any concerns? Does your child like coming to school every day? Again, if you need help preparing, then check out that video I mentioned. I think that writing down some of the thoughts that you would like to get across in advance can be super helpful when you're already feeling nervous. Another question might be, can I bring someone with me? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can bring anyone with you that you think might provide more information about your child and their learning, or somebody that is just a support to you. You can bring an advocate. You can bring a lawyer. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, especially for your first meeting, but you can truly bring anybody that you want. It is a courtesy to let the school know in advance. They like to know who's going to be coming to the meeting, but you are allowed to bring anybody you would find useful or helpful or supportive. At many of my own daughter's meetings, we have had her private tutor teleconference in. We've also had somebody who did an evaluation for her chime into a meeting as well. So again, anybody that you think would be helpful. Another question is, can meetings be virtual? And the answer is yes. So it's actually probably more common now ever since COVID now to have some of these different kinds of meetings that I mentioned earlier, meetings for eligibility or for evaluation, or even for an IEP or 504 to take place over Zoom or Google Meet. You can request to meet in person if that's something you prefer. Along the same lines, sometimes you just receive an email or a letter in the mail that tells you the date and time that the meeting is taking place without your input in scheduling, but you can request to have that meeting changed to a time that you can make it. Also, if they're requesting that you appear in person, but the only way that you would be able to make it is to attend virtually, then just let them know that. They will make it work so that you can be there. Another question that parents might ask is, do I have to make decisions at the meeting? And the short answer is no. Feel free to engage in the conversation, ask a lot of questions, but if they're asking you to make a decision about something, but you're not comfortable making it on the spot and you would just like to take some more time to think about it, then you can absolutely ask for that. And one final commonly asked question is, can I have an interpreter? Yes. If the meeting would be more meaningful to you and you could participate better if you had an interpreter in a language that you're most comfortable in, then the school has to provide one for you. Do you have any other questions about meetings before you go? Feel free to message me on Instagram or come on over to my website and check out some of my blogs and other videos. They might be able to answer some of your questions. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and tell your friends about it if they could use it. And be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you know about when my next video is out. All right, hope that was helpful. Have a great day, everyone.